Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Today, let us talk about the planets. According to International Astronomical Union (IAU), presently there are 8 planets in the solar system. They are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Similarly, all the scriptures of the world also mention that there are 8 planets. Of course, it is not directly mentioned. We have to read the scriptures rationally and decipher the information honestly. In Quran, it is metaphorically stated as 7 heavens and 7 earth-like bodies in several verses as shown in this slide. Though many verses are mentioning the 7 heavens, only the verse number 12 of Surah number 65 is significant. It states that, I quote, "It is Allah who has created 7 heavens and of the earth the like of them," unquote. Here, it talks about the 7 planets and including the earth, it makes 8 planets. Similarly, 7 heavens are also mentioned in other scriptures such as Bible, Torah and Vedas. This shows that all the scriptures of the world are the revelations of a single creator and there are 8 planets in the solar system. But according to IAU, in addition to these 8 planets, there are many dwarf planets exist in our solar system, but sadly they don't qualify as planets. The prominent among these are the Ceres, Pallas, Vesta, Pluto, Arcus, Haumea, Quabar, Makemake, Gongang, Eris and Sedna. After the demotion of Pluto in 2006, many scientists are searching for the 9th planet and many others are demanding for the reconsideration of Pluto as the 9th planet. Whatever may be the case, it amounts to only 9 planets. But the Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the scriptures that there are 12 planets. Yes, you heard it right. There are 12 planets, among which 8 are the major planets and remaining are the minor planets, but they also must be considered as planets. Here, 2 major questions arise. The first question is where it is mentioned that it contains 12 planets, and the second question is among so many dwarf planets, which one should be considered for the upgrading to the position of planets? The answer lies in the scriptures itself. The Quran, Torah, Bible all mentions that the prophet Jacob had 12 sons. Here, Jacob represents the sun and his sons represent the planets. The Indian astrological studies also mentions about the 12 Rashis, which are nothing but the dominion of 12 planets. Since the Indian scriptures are the earliest revelations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it contains the knowledge of the initial conditions of the solar system, and at that initial stage it might have contained only 9 planets, as it talks about Navagraha, meaning 9 planets. The Navagraha includes the sun and moon also as planets, but its mentioning is for some other purpose which we will discuss in future inshallah. Excluding the sun and moon, we can get only 6 planets in the Indian scriptures, as you can see in this slide. But the Puranas contains the story of Rahu and Ketu. Here, Rahu and Ketu are considered as the shadowy planets or asteroids. In reality, they are the planets present in the asteroid belt. The story of Rahu and Ketu tells that the Vishnu beheaded the demon Svarbhanu with his chakra and his head came to be known as Rahu while his body came to be known as Ketu. This suggests that at the initial stages there exists a big planet at the asteroid belt, but the impact of a disc-shaped object may be originating from the Kuiper belt or interstellar region has divided this big planet into 2 planets. This also suggests that the impact has taken away a big chunk of the outer layers, leaving behind the core with other remnants. Later, they developed into 2 individual planets, where one planet has formed with the material of outer layers of the earlier planet, while the other one remained with the core, as the story mentioned the occurrence of head and body separately. Therefore, we have to look for the dwarf planets where one is having a core and the other does not have a core. If we observe carefully, we can notice that among the dwarf planets, Vesta is having a core and the Ceres is uniform in composition without a core. Therefore, we can consider Vesta and Ceres as two planets in the asteroid belt which are analogous to Rahu and Ketu. Among the remaining two, one is a Pluto, and for the other one, we have to search in the Kuiper belt as it is lying beyond Pluto's orbit as mentioned in the Torah. The book of Genesis mentions that the prophet Jacob had 12 sons and one daughter, where the daughter is represented by the dwarf planet Pallas, which lies in the asteroid belt. Since it is mentioned as a daughter, it cannot be considered as dwarf planet. Even the scientists are skeptical of considering it as a dwarf planet based on its physical characters. Now, let us see more details about the remaining planets as mentioned in Torah. These are the sons of Jacob and their characteristics as predicted by the prophet Jacob in book of Genesis, chapter number 35, verse number 23 to 26, which are shown in this slide. At the end days, Jacob called his sons to bless them and foretold what they will become in future as mentioned in the book of Genesis chapter number 49 verse number 3 to 27. Here in this slide, Jacob's blessings are shown along with the appropriate planets recognized based on the characteristics mentioned by him. More details are there in this chapter, but to keep the video short, I am mentioning only the important characters here. The Reuben is mentioned as outstanding in strength and dignity, representing the Jupiter as it is huge and majestic. Simeon and Levi are mentioned together and call them as cruel, furious and pleasure seekers, which is comparable to the characteristics of Rahu and Ketu, who are demons representing the Vesta and Ceres. Also, in chapter number 49, verse number 7, Jacob states that, I quote, I will divide them and scatter them in Israel, unquote, indicate that they are divided and scattered in the solar system. This statement corroborates with the story of beheading of Swarbhanu by Vishnu. As we all know, Vesta and Ceres are located in the asteroid belt and asteroids are scattered in the solar system. Judah is compared with lion, represented by the Saturn, where its rings are compared with lion's mane. Issachar is mentioned as a loaded donkey which bends his shoulders at resting place, which is compared with the horizontally tilted axis of Uranus. Zebulun is told to live by the haven of sea, which is comparable to the blue color of Neptune. The statement, bow in the skillful, sturdy hands of Joseph will remain steady against the shooting arrows, is indicating towards the Pluto on whose surface a bow mark is present. All these years, people are considering this as a heart symbol, but in reality, it is a bow symbol. The statement Dan is a judge person, which is comparable to the characteristics of Shukra of the Indian scriptures, represents the planet Venus. It is mentioned that Naphtali is a free-running doe, speaks delightful words which are similar to the descriptions of Budh, and represents the planet Mercury, which is the fastest revolving planet. The Gad is raided by marauding bands, indicating the asteroid bombardment, and represents the Mars. The Asher provides the rich, delicious food to the royalties, indicate that it will provide delicious food to its inhabitants, representing the earth. This also suggests that only the earth is inhabited by the royalties, that is humans and other animals and plants. And the Jacob's last son, Benjamin, is mentioned as the ravenous wolf, which in the morning devouring the prey and in the evening dividing the plunder. It could be related to the temperature variations or atmospheric variations, or it could be related to the phenomena of consumption and ejection of matter by the main body of the planet, or it could be all the above. Based on these characteristics, we have to recognize the 12th planet. Either we have to search a new planet or choose one among the existing dwarf planets occurring in the Kuiper belt. If we choose one among the existing dwarf planets, we have to choose one among Eris, Haumea, Makemake, Sedna, Quavar, Gonggong, and Arcus. Wait a minute. Do not jump to conclusion. According to Quran, Surah number 12, verse number 69 to 79, the Prophet Joseph kept his younger brother with him when all his brothers visited him. The action of arrest of Benjamin on the pretext of theft suggests that the Pluto captured the 12th planet. This indicates that the 12th planet could be Pluto's moon Charon. Because there is a temperature variation in the Charon's atmosphere and the active cryogeysers and cryovolcanoes are present on the surface of Charon. Moreover, you can see an image of a wolf on the surface of Charon as mentioned by Jacob that Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. This confirms that the Charon is the 12th planet. Therefore, all this information confirms that the solar system consists of 12 planets. Hence, I request the IAU to consider this scientific knowledge provided by the Creator himself and declare that our solar system consists of 12 planets. If anyone wants to contribute for the development of science and religious knowledge, I welcome you all and request you to join hands with me to spread the true knowledge of all the scriptures of the world with an authentic proof and in the right spirit. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.